11. It was just in the afternoon time, probably about 2 or 3 o'clock, and later that night, my family was going to a Christmas party at a family from our church's house. So that wasn't until later that night, so we had some time to burn. And the next day, we were actually having a youth event at my house and our neighbor's house. We have a trail from our house to their house, so the youth would go from house to house for different activities. So it was the winter time, so all the leaves were down, and the trail was just kind of hard to follow. We hadn't done it a lot, so my brother and I decided to go rake the trail and make it look pretty, so that just you wouldn't get lost on everything. So we went out and raked the trail. We had it looking pretty good, and we got to the end of the trail at our neighbor's house. So our neighbor was out there jumping on a trampoline and asked if me and my brother wanted to come jump. And we said sure, just like so many other times. So we got on, started jumping, just having a great time, and having fun. And then the fun ended kind of quick when somehow, I don't really know how, but I got launched off the trampoline. I guess just clumsiness. But I fell off and landed straight on my head and crumbled to the ground, and denying the fact that I was actually hurt, I got back on the trampoline and started jumping again. So after bouncing around a little bit, the pain got too much, and I lay down on the trampoline. Told my brother that something was wrong with my neck and to go get our dad. So he took off through the very nice trail we just raked, and came back with my dad a few minutes later. And my dad got there, and he didn't exactly know what to do. You know, 2 boys in a family, there's a lot of pain, and it's just kind of you shake it off, and it builds character, you know, kind of thing. But my dad did know that neck injuries could be kind of finicky and kind of weird, so he decided that if this had happened in some sort of sporting event or something, they do the whole big thing, call 911. So he decided to do that. So a fire truck got there first, and some firemen loaded me on a backboard and put me in an ambulance. Then I was taken to Newton County Hospital, where they started taking x-rays. So the first x-rays they took, you know, they took them and the results got back, and there's nothing wrong with your neck, it's fine, nothing's wrong. So it was kind of weird, so they took some more, but the results came back the same, nothing's wrong with your neck. So they started to get kind of frustrated with me. It's like, there's nothing wrong with you, and I'm sitting here, yeah, there is, it hurts. So they're kind of getting mad, and then they take the neck brace off that I had on and started moving my head around for more x-rays. But the same result came back for those, nothing's wrong with your neck. So they were about to send me and my family home, saying nothing's wrong, when some of our friends from our church walked in. And this was kind of odd. You know, we'd only been at the hospital for an hour or two, and there were already people visiting. But Mrs. Johnson, the mother of the family, later told my mom that she actually felt the Holy Spirit just tugging on her, go see Josh, get your husband and go see Josh at the hospital. I guess they had heard through somebody at our church or something. But the husband, Dr. Johnson, was actually a radiologist. He worked at a different hospital, but he's the guy that actually reads the x-rays. So he went in and looked at the x-rays of my neck, and he saw something that the other doctors there didn't see. He saw that from the x-rays they had taken, there was an angle of my neck that you couldn't see, and he said that I needed a CAT scan. So they agreed, and I got a CAT scan, and it turned out my neck was broken. My C1, which is your top vertebrae, was broken in 2 places, and this type of break is called a Jefferson fracture. The doctors went on to tell me and my family that I should have died to this type of neck injury, and if for some reason I hadn't died on impact, I should be completely paralyzed from the neck down. Every doctor and nurse throughout this whole experience told me the same information about how I should have died or be paralyzed and how lucky I am. But I know that it wasn't luck at all. For some reason, God decided to keep me alive. For some reason, He decided to give me back my arms and legs. And for some reason, He decided to give me a full recovery. Jeremiah 29:11 says, "For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord. Plans to prosper you and not to harm you. Plans to give you a hope in the future." I know that God has a plan in my life. I know that he has a purpose for me. 3 times I should have died, and 3 times God kept me alive. I should have died on the initial impact when my neck broke. I should have died when I got back up and started jumping again. And I should have died when the doctors moved my neck around for the x-rays. But I didn't. While I did live through these experiences, I don't know when the time will come where God's plan does not include me being on this earth anymore. I don't know when I might die. Romans 12:11 says, "Never be lacking in zeal, but keep your spiritual fervor serving the Lord." Right here, we are told specifically to serve the Lord and never lose your desire to serve Him. Every time I think of what happened to me and how close I came to death, I think about, well, what if I actually had died? And then I think about, would I have been okay with it? And what I mean by that is, at the time, was I doing everything I could to serve God and to glorify Him? Or was there more that I could be doing? From this, I come to the present time. Right now, if I were to die, would I be okay with it? Right now, am I doing everything to glorify God and to serve Him? Or is there more that I could be doing? Ephesians 5:15-17 says, "Be very careful then how you live, not as unwise but as wise, making the most of every opportunity, because the days are evil. Therefore do not be foolish, but understand what the Lord's will is." You don't know how long you will be on this earth. None of us do. We don't know when we will die or when Jesus will come back. We just don't know, and we never will know. So I want you to ask yourself, would I be okay with dying right now? Right now, am I doing everything I can to serve God and to glorify Him? I challenge you to live in such a way that you know that there is nothing else you can do to serve Him. That you know you are doing everything possible to glorify God. Live your life in a way that you would be okay with dying, because you know that in the time God gave you on this earth, there is nothing else you could have done to glorify Him.